video game show or movies for a fucking long ass time were terrible. And like, when I say terrible, I mean goddamn fucking horrible. Like, when they started making video game movies back in the 90s, if anyone remembers or knows about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, that fucking thing is an absolute dumpster fire. The Mortal Kombat movie, that thing is like, those kind of movies were those type of movies where they're so bad that they're good. Like, they were so bad that you watch them just to have a fucking laugh over them. But you know what? In recent times, I definitely feel like we are starting to make a little bit of a 180 when it comes to a lot of these video games, like live action or even just TV series adaptations. Mainly when it comes to the movies, I feel like movies aren't really the best way to adapt a video game. Like, even the ones that have been relatively decent in the last years, like I know that Sonic the Hedgehog apparently wasn't even that bad. Like, it was actually kind of decent. But I know that Uncharted, you know, I think that had like a little bit of, like, not like a lot of hype around it, but people were hoping that it would be like kind of decent. But it just turned out to be, you know, extremely mediocre. But I feel like TV series are the best way to go. And to me, it's shown in the last few years when it's come to like shows like Witcher, which is like, to me, what's kind of like started a little bit of this turnaround, at least like the first 2-3 seasons. You know, the fact that, you know, Henry Cavill is now leaving the show, it's just going to go absolutely fucking downhill and become an absolute bonfire. Arcane was fucking amazing, and I am absolutely looking forward to season 2 for that. Last of Us, nothing but absolutely good things for that too. Castlevania is coming out. People are absolutely fucking hyped for that. I'm really hyped for that as well because I love anime. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I know that these are like, you know, mix of live action and animation, but either one, they are relatively good. We have to, obviously there's the exception with the Halo show. We don't fucking talk about that because, like, what was it, the first episode that they took Master Chief's helmet off? Like, his whole entire like thing is about him taking like him and his helmet and keeping his like actual identity a secret. Like, that's Master Chief. And then there's like a whole weird ass sex scene with him too. So that one we don't talk about. But in recent times, besides Halo, we are actually starting to get some extremely good video game adaptations. And from the screenshots that I've seen and a little bit of research that I have done about the new Fallout show that is coming out next year in 2024, it's scheduled. It has an official release date of April 12th, 2024, and I actually have extremely big like hopes for this movie, and I actually think that this movie is going to do TV series will do extremely well, and here's why. Here's first I'm going to show the screenshots that have like been making its rounds around Twitter for like the past like day. Like, since of me uploading this video, it'd be like in 24 hours of me recording this video. It's been going around for about 12 hours. So by the time if you're watching this, probably been going around for a day, maybe a day or two. And like, this screenshots, like, already just from looking at the series, they look amazing. Like before I even did a little bit of research and watched the video, a bit of the background about this series, like, seeing these screenshots already made me fucking hype. Like, look how fucking good the power suit is. Like, that thing looks fucking amazing. And I will give a little bit of background about myself. I've never been a massive Fallout fan. Like, I've tried to get into Fallout here and there. I'm more of like an Elder Scrolls person when it comes to Bethesda games. Like, I fucking love the shit out of Skyrim. And I've tried to get into Fallout here several times. I played Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas is meant to be like the best one, and I've definitely tried that. Isn't that not, the games aren't necessarily for me, but I could definitely understand, like, you know, the open world and like how much of a good story and the combat and all that stuff, how people can definitely enjoy it, and like especially the post-apocalyptic as well. But I am 100% still hyped for the show, don't get me wrong. Even though I'm not a massive, like, personally I'm not a fan of the games, I'm still looking forward to it. And this screenshot, the other two of like the main character, obviously, like, you know, I definitely like her suit. The screenshots obviously aren't like, you know, the most rendered screenshots ever, but you know, that's kind of understandable. But the ones of the power suits just look fucking amazing. And I started to do like, and then I was just like wanting to think a little bit more about like what's going on, like the background of like, you know, the actors and actresses and who's directing this, you know, because when I was doing a little bit of research on, you know, the Madam Web video that I did for like, you know, why I think it's going to fail, I mainly was talking about the writers of the show and, you know, how Sony's perceived their previous, you know, adaptations of their own like Spider-Verse as well, and I gave my reasons because the people who are writing the show have, you know, a track record of writing terrible TV shows in the past, terrible TV shows and movies in the past. So, you know, that's why I think it's going to fail. But this series right here is the complete fucking opposite of My Madam Web video. Now, we'll start off with the cast of this series. Now, majority of the cast are people that like aren't really big names, so they don't really have any massive names attached to this, which, you know, sometimes can actually be a good thing. I think the only name that is like relatively popular and a lot of people would know would have to be Walton Goggins. You probably don't know his name off the top of your head, but if you search up a picture of him, you would know him straight away. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Also, he's done like a few TV series as well. So he's done a TV series called Justified. He was in Sons of Anarchy as well. So he's like, doesn't have any like massive roles, but he would probably have to be like the only name that has like, you know, some kind of weight to it attached to this. The leading actress herself, who's going to be playing the main character, is obviously going to be like, you know, what do you call it? Someone like surviving from the vault, coming out of the vault. Her name is Ella Purnell. She's only 27 years old, which is good. Like, it's good to see that they've attached a young name to this. She doesn't really have like that much in her bag, like behind her in terms of like, you know, her doing anything big. She's been in like Kick-Ass. She was in Kick-Ass 2 as Dolce. I've never watched any of the Kick-Ass movies, so I wouldn't really know. She was in Maleficent. So the actresses are like, the actors and actresses aren't really like the focal point of this. But the reason why I have such high premise for this show is because of the people who have written and are developing this show. The main two people behind this are Jonathan Nolan and his wife, Lisa Joy. And if you heard his last name right, yes, he is the brother of Christopher Nolan, arguably one of the greatest writers and directors of this generation. Written amazing films, you know. If anyone just watched, what was that? Oh fuck, Oppenheimer. I can't believe it was on the tip of my fucking tongue. Oppenheimer recently. That movie was fucking incredible. He wrote and directed Interstellar, Dark Knight Rises, Inception. You know, Dark Knight, which to me, Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie of all fucking time. And Jonathan Nolan was actually a writer in some of these movies with his brother as well. So he was a writer in Memento, and Memento was actually based off the short story that was originally written by Jonathan Nolan. Jonathan also helped write Prestige, Dark Knight Rises, and Interstellar, and he was also an uncredited writer for Batman Begins. There's also Terminator Salvation. We don't talk about that movie though. It's probably the only one in his whole entire, like, you know, resume that I'd have to put question marks in, but let's be honest, that movie was just a mess altogether. And then his wife as well has also written and directed her own movies and TV series. She wrote and directed, and I actually had never heard of this movie. It's starring Hugh Jackman, so I'm surprised I've never heard it. But it's called Reminiscence. So it's like a neo-noir sci-fi fiction thriller, which actually sounds really fucking amazing. Unfortunately, it didn't get many good reviews. So that's like, I guess the only thing that you could put like, oh, she didn't do well in. But in terms of TV series, she was the director, writer, and executive producer. She was a co-creator, along with Jonathan Nolan, for Westworld, which is like a dystopian science fiction Western television series. And like, I've never watched Westworld myself, but I have heard good things about this. And I think that this links, like, I was looking at a couple of like the seasonal trailers for Westworld, and to me it seems like, you know, the kind of vibe that Westworld has links very, very well with the similar vibe that Fallout would want to bring to the live action. You know, Westworld is a dystopian science fiction Western. Fallout is, you know, a post-apocalyptic drama, and it's based, you know, where everything's stuck in like the 1950s. And it's somewhat of a sci-fi because, you know, it's science fiction and it's a post-apocalyptic. And I definitely feel like the Westworld, you know, them like writing that, you know, it has similar vibes to it. So, you know, Bethesda did an amazing job of who they wanted to, like, you know, develop and write the whole entire series. And that is like the main reason why I actually think that this series is going to do well. You put someone's name like Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy onto this project, especially when them two together co-created, directed, and wrote Westworld, I have extremely high hopes for this, and I definitely think that this series is going to do well. And one thing that I'm excited about, like someone like Jonathan Nolan being put onto this series, is that I hope that he takes after his brother. And it already seems like it from the screenshots. Now, if you know anything about Christopher Nolan, he's very practical when it comes to his movies. Like, Christopher Nolan likes to stay away from CGI, green screens. Obviously, you know, if you're making a movie like Oppenheimer, where it's about, you know, making the atomic bomb that was dropped on Japan during World War II, obviously, that has to be CGI and fake, obviously. But, you know, when it comes to all his props and, you know, the background of his entire sets, he tries to make it as practical as possible. And that's what I can see in these screenshots that I showed earlier of the Fallout series. Like, the power suit is completely fucking practical and looks fucking amazing. So I'm glad to see that, you know, they're going to take the practical aspect of this, because, you know, if they had to just go like the full fucking CGI, it would look absolutely fucking horrible. It looked like what the Marvel movies and series are looking like at the moment. Just a CGI fucking mess. So it's absolutely great to see that they are putting as much practicality into this TV series just from this screenshot. And like I said, with someone's name like Jonathan Nolan attached to this as well. I am like super excited for this series. After hearing that Jonathan Nolan and his wife Lisa Joy were attached to this, and seeing like their previous resume, like with Jonathan writing a lot of, like, you know, the movies that his brother Chris wrote, and then, you know, him also co-creating with his wife Westworld. I don't think he was an actual co-creator. I think he was just helped write it. I know that she was a co-creator, but yeah, she was like one of the main co-creators. Oh no, he was. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm contradicting myself here. But yeah, him and her were like a co-creators of the show Westworld. And Westworld itself is actually like based off something else. Like, it was originally a movie in the 1970s. So they know how to take something that is like, you know, already established, or, you know, an existing product, and adapt it into their own and into a TV series. You know, Westworld was originally a movie, they've taken it and then they've adapted it into a TV series, and it's worked out well. So that's why I definitely think that they, from their track record and, you know, the names on it, like I said, the only thing that, you know, you could somewhat question would maybe be the actors and actresses, because they, like I said, they don't really have like many massive names attached to this. But like, at the same time, sometimes that could be a good thing, because there's people who, like, you know, are wanting to really prove themselves. You know, Ella Purnell, she's a young, inspiring actress from what I can see. You know, she doesn't have many big roles, even in some of her previous movies. She's not really like been any main characters. She was the voice of Jinx. She's the voice of Jinx in Arcane. Oh, damn. So I just searched that. I was just looking at that now. I was only looking like at her main films and like her live action stuff. But in terms of she voices Jinx in Arcane. So she does have some track record in terms of, like, you know, her vocal acting, you know, to be extremely credible. But in terms of her live action acting, she was in Star Trek Prodigy. She is in Star Trek Prodigy. That's also animated as well. So yeah, but it'd be good to see her live action, like her to be like front and center in a live action series. Consider that, you know, that she has been very prominent in animated series in the last few years. And like I mentioned at the start of this video as well, you know, Arcane's fucking amazing. So I'm looking forward to Fallout. I'm yapping on for a little bit too long now, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about this series. Are you excited for the series? Are you more hyped? Like, seeing these screenshots now, and then hearing that Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are attached to it as well. Let me know what you guys think. That's it from me. Peace out.